Welcome everybody to MoRat Nation. I'm Bob Carmichael and let's get started. Safe Cardio for Seniors Part 1, Electric Bikes. To begin with, I should mention that my knees hurt whenever I do anything that involves putting my full body weight on my knees. This includes things like walking, hiking, and climbing stairs. This leaves me with a very short list of available cardio exercises. For the most part, this involves biking, rowing, and some elliptical machines. This video will concentrate on biking, and specifically electric bikes. I find it too painful to use a regular bike out on the trail, where hills require stand-up pedaling. The very first electric bike I owned had a conventional lead-acid battery that ran out of juice very quickly. It helped me get up steep hills, but it would not last for the entire ride, even though it was only a few miles. Fortunately for me, the new electric bikes are better because of their lithium-ion batteries that have a much higher range than the old lead-acid batteries. The first thing I did was go to a bike store and see what kind of bikes they were selling. They had very nice bikes there with features like fancy derailleurs and carbon fiber frames. These were great bikes, but they cost $3,000 to $4,000. I dreaded the thought of trying to sell my wife on the idea since it was way out of my price range. So I began to think about what I really needed in an electric bike and what I didn't need. One thing I didn't need was a fancy carbon fiber frame that reduced weight. I thought I wouldn't need a lightweight bike if I had a motor to help me pedal. And I thought I would not need a fancy derailleur to shift gears if all I had to do was hit the accelerator button to help me stay in the same gear going up a hill. A limitation I ran into that probably will not bother any of you is that I weigh more than 250 pounds, the limit that many electric bike manufacturers list in their specifications. I could still go ahead and buy these bikes, but I could find myself dealing with things like snake bite flats that are caused by hitting a bump where the rim makes two slices in the inner tube like a snake bite. This pretty much left me with fat tire e-bikes. The one I finally decided on was the Seniors original e-bike. At the time I bought the bike, it was being crowdfunded on the internet, which allowed me to buy the bike for around $500. Today the cost is much higher, and this was pretty much what I would have had to pay for a good regular bike. The one catch was that it cost $200 to ship it from California to my home in Raleigh, North Carolina. I was lucky that Seniors managed to stay in business and that I lived in a time when I could look up on YouTube to figure out how to solve my minor bike problems, since I did not have a local retailer to turn to. My experiences so far with the Seniors bike have been excellent. I've ridden thousands of miles with it with almost no problems. Here are the problems that I have run into. Fat tire bikes are set up too high, which makes them top heavy, and they tend to oversteer when you're riding them. The bike I have has a center bar that makes it very hard for women to ride. You should probably be about 6 foot tall to comfortably ride this bike. When women ride it, they almost always fall over when they try to get off. The extra width of the wheel raises the bike up too high for them, and when they do fall off, they can damage the pedal on the side that they fall on. The pedal attaches to an aluminum crankshaft that tends to strip when the bent pedal is removed. The biggest surprise came when I tried to load the e-bike onto my car with a Ceres trunk-mounted bike rack. This was not going to work. You could end up scratching the car or having the bike fall off while driving. The only way to move a bike this heavy is to use a trailer hitch mounted bike rack. Even though I ordered one of the lowest priced bike racks from Yuli, by the time I had purchased a trailer hitch for my car, the total cost was over $750. This more than doubled the total cost for the project, and be sure not to make the mistake I made. Find a rack that has an easy to install ramp to help you get the bike on and off the rack. And then of course there are lots of other small add-ons that you buy for your bike. A good helmet with a rear view mirror, and a good pair of gloves are things I would not ride the bike without. Also, you will need a good drink holder and a good iPhone holder mounted to your front handlebars. Most of you will want to choose a different seat than the one supplied by the manufacturer. I thought I'd be more comfortable with a big wide seat like the one shown, but I ended up going with a much smaller seat because the wide seat was hard to get my leg around when I got on the bike. And finally, you want to invest in a bike rack dolly. Hitch-mounted bike racks are very heavy and awkward to move around, and this will really save your back. I worry about leaving the bike rack on the car in between rides because they are so easily damaged if they're bumped into by other cars. But they are so difficult to move around, I wouldn't take it off unless I had this dolly. I plan to do several other videos about exercise for seniors, including bike riding, weightlifting, and rowing. So please subscribe to MoRat Nation. I have no financial ties with any of the products mentioned in this video, and thanks for watching.